So I am making this video on entrepreneur loneliness because it's something that I feel, and this is just my experience. So not every entrepreneur or business owner is going to feel like this, but I feel like a lot of us do, and not everybody talks about it. So I'm here to talk about it. Just try to get this confession out before I gotta pick my kid up. The more and more I get into building my business, the further and further I get from friends and family and the people in my life. And I don't live in New York. I don't live in like a big city where entrepreneurship is normal. I don't even know if it's maybe Singapore where it's normal, but I can't relate as much, and I'm not finding the same things interesting, and that makes me feel kind of lonely. And it's not like a lonely that's like, you know, I'm depressed. I'm not depressed. I just wish that there was more people to talk to. And I am a member of like so many different Facebook groups and different entrepreneur groups and programs I've tried out, and it's nice to have those people, but they're like online, and there also seems to be like a dichotomy at a certain point of like you're in life, your waking life person like that walks around, and then your online life, which is like your entrepreneurship, when you do start to deviate away from that normal career path. And of course there's like all kinds of people in between, people that try this and go back to that, try this, go back to that. But when you do sort of deviate from it, there becomes this space in between regular people and entrepreneurs, and that's where this loneliness is. It's right in this space. I think a lot of people who aren't entrepreneurs thinks this is like the best. Wow, you work from home and you choose your hours. You can take a nap in the middle of the day if you want to. You can work outside on the porch. It's, you know, a nice fall, leaves dropping, but like there's no one guaranteeing my paycheck. So things that used to seem enjoyable, like you know, going to a barbecue or like watching a football game and eating wings. Not that I'm really into football, but I'm into like the muscles when they do like the slow-mo replays. That's just not as fun anymore. That's just not as spicy and exciting. And then when I talk to friends and I'm like, hey, how was your day? And they're just like, you know, work and just doing this and doing that. And like I wanna meet someone and be like, what are you working on? Like, what are you passionate about? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And instead people are like in the day-to-day kind of mindset, and that's lonely. So a lot of people's mission seems to be related to their personal life. Like, I want to raise happy kids and you know, work a good job and be happy with my life and fulfilled. But like I'm just someone that's never satisfied. I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs can relate to that. I'm never really happy. I always like want more. And sometimes I'm like kind of envious of people that are just like happy with what they have, because that's not something that I can relate to. So this video makes me kind of uncomfortable because I feel really vulnerable, because these are real feelings. I think that transparency is really important, and I guess vulnerability kind of comes with that territory when you want to be transparent. So the other thing is like the overwhelm. This is something that makes me feel kind of lonely compared to regular everyday people in your life, because they're like, they do one job usually. I mean, the job like entails a lot, but like usually they can wrap up what they do in like one phrase, like UX designer or mortgage loan officer. Like what I used to do was like, no one was like, what's that? What does that entail? Like with entrepreneurship, you're like I don't have like, you probably don't want to hear all the jobs that I have to do, but basically you're doing like 5, 6, maybe like 7 people's jobs in the beginning before you can like really have the resources to outsource. So that's something that actually makes me feel kind of lonely. I mean, I could literally like do 50 million things and not get anything done because they're just so scattered, because no one's here to give me structure and say, get this done by this day and I need this by then. And it's just all you, and your brain, especially like when you're like a creative person, your brain can take you in so many different directions. So the hardest thing has been like trying to focus, and I can't really go to regular friends and family for advice on that because they haven't been there. So regardless of the loneliness that you feel as an entrepreneur, there's like lots of really, really amazing upsides. Obviously, like choosing your workflow and your projects that you work on is like amazing. The risk that you take, if it pays off, it really, really pays off. But the most important part, or the biggest positive I think about all this is that the amount of personal growth that you go through is like incredible. Like you're constantly growing. If I look at myself 6 months ago, I'm like way more put together than I was. Whereas before, you kind of like hit a plateau. Once you hit like maybe 25, 26, you're like, all right, like I'm pretty much this person in a year or 2 years or 3 years. But like me 3 years ago and me now is like a wide, like a crazy difference. So the personal growth is amazing. But obviously that comes with growing pains, so you're constantly in growing pains. The other positive is that people can learn a lot from your personal growth, and when they ask you about it, you're able to leave actual breadcrumbs, and you can be like, you know, this is how my journey was, and this is what I did to prepare. This is what leads to that. This is what you can expect. There's like so many things that you can do to help other people once you decide to just take on the risk of being an entrepreneur. And overall, I'm really, really happy that I did. Like, really happy that I chose this path. But it is super difficult in a lot of ways, but super, super rewarding. I just got to 30. I turned 30 this year, and you know, in America especially, we have this like idea of what 30 is supposed to look like. Like, you should be you know, married with a house and a great career and kids already, and or soon, and that whole like that whole system puts so much pressure on you. But I do feel like even though my growth hasn't been linear, it's been really, really gratifying, and I feel like I am going to be a good example to my son, and I don't know if I could do the same if I was an employee, because I just wouldn't be as happy. And I feel like whatever makes you so sentimental, whatever makes you happy. So if you have a good idea on how to manage your entrepreneurial loneliness, if you've overcome that or channeled that somehow, I'd be really, really excited to hear about it. If you want to put in the comments how this made you feel, this is all about feelings, this video, I would love it. I read every single comment. So I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.